Home is not a place. Home can be a person. Home is simply where the heart is. Could you please create memories where you still can? Hi guys, I hope you're fine. I hope you're good and I hope you're amazing. I know it's been a while. It's quite been a long time, but thank you for stopping by and thank you for coming back. If you're new to this channel, karibu sana and feel welcome. It's actually last weekend I was going through my channel and I realized that I still have lots of pending videos that I had promised to do, and on this video it's not really a continuation, but it's a video I had promised to do, like almost, it's not almost, it's actually an year ago. Yeah, like always, last week was my dad's birthday, and last year around the same period I had done a video. It's about a story about my childhood in regards to my dad. I had actually promised to do 3 videos, but I don't know how I ended up doing one. I guess it's just juggling with other things, so I still had promised to do 2 more videos. Today I'm going to do 1 more video, so nitabaki na deni yenu ya 1 story. So in today's story, it's still about my childhood and my dad and I in my childhood. So this is the second story. If you've not watched the first story, it's quite interesting. It's about my cooking blunders and escapades and how I cooked crazy food for my dad, and you can guess how his reaction was. If you've not watched, you'd rather go back and watch. It's just there on top of my videos. It's entitled a real life story, a garden hadad or something like that, but you'll see it down there on the link here. In today's story, I just remembered about my reading habits and where they came from. If you're someone who is close to me, or if you're in my circle, rather, I guess all my fans by now know that I do love reading, by virtue of, I think there are some videos that I've done there before, parts of my books. They are organizing back my bookshelf. Yeah, there are quite some videos that show that show some evidence about my reading and my love for reading. And also, if you're close to me, you'll know that I do love reading. Perhaps I could tell you a little bit of where my reading culture comes from and how my dad plays a key role into my reading culture. So I take you back around 20 years ago also. Yeah, around 20 years ago. I was 4 years, 5 years thereabout, because that is where my interest in reading began. I was a young girl, and of course after enrolling in school, nursery school, class 1, kuna zile vitabu tulikuwa tunaitishwa shule tununuliwe. They were storybooks, and I developed a keen interest in storybooks. So I loved to read those storybooks. So what my dad would do was that he would buy for me lots of storybooks, kama tulikuwa tumeitishwa zote angeninunulia zote. I loved the English ones in particular. They were very interesting. The Muddy Muddy Wedding, yeah, the Muddy Muddy Wedding, the, I don't know, the chicks, and I don't know, the hen and her 7 chicks. Quite some interesting and nice story books for kids. And by that time, you know, as a kid, how you read and then your entire imagination rotates or revolves rather around that story. You can actually visualize what you're reading. You create your own images. Yeah, I know as an adult it's still the same thing, but I guess it's so magical as a kid. And you even have the real pictures, the real images of the characters in your mind, and your creativity is so top notch. So I would read those books, and I would imagine the characters. I would actually visualize them. I would say them. I would just fall in love with the characters. Rather, that's what I would say. So my dad played a very key role because apart from just purchasing the storybooks for me, you know, as a parent, it would have been also easier to say, well, nimenunua vitabu and that is it. You asked for these books and nishazinunua. Those are the books. You have everything you want, and that is it. There's something very important that he used to do. Well, I might not really have felt its impact 20 years ago or something. I might really not really have felt its impact, but thinking about it, it really built me. It really developed my reading culture, and it's something that I hold dear, and there are memories that I do hold so dear. And so yeah, there are those priceless and precious memories that you hold. So other than just buying the books, he would create time to read with me. So amenunua vitabu, let's say ni kama acha nipeane na kama ka story ka The Muddy Muddy Wedding, amenunua that book. But there's one book that I loved, and I remember, I think I was in class 4 or something. It was called At the Showground. Because I remember it was this story about a magician. You know, you could imagine those magicians. Those times, the books called them professors. Najua tulikuwa shule, kulikuwa sijui kunasemekana the professors wanakuja, then there's just some magic tricks, things like that. So the book was just about a showground and some professors with some magic in it, and then there were boys who would see the professor, like your picture, yeah, the professor akiwa hivi mkubwa. And then because I remember these the professor would say, I still remember the words until now, because it was Kiptanui, hip hop, open your hands, and then the boy is told to clap, and then a big green frog jumps up. Anyway, away from the story, I might get carried out by the by the memories and just delve into the story. But that's not what I don't want to go deeper into the story, but I want to go to the part where he played a very important role, and that is creating time to read the storybooks with me. So he would buy the books with me, and then we would read together. So basically kama ameniletea this is kitabu At the Showground, tumefungua, and then naanza kumsomea. He would listen. If I mispronounce a word, he would correct me. So maybe tuseme amefika jioni, and then my mom is cooking dinner. Well, my mom is making dinner for us. Then my dad is helping me read, or rather I'm reading and he's listening to me. And yeah, basically we used to read together. Okay, it might not have really been daily, but it's like almost daily, at least. Yeah, if it's not daily, at least the least times could be like thrice a week. Or yeah, because I remember we did read a lot of books, not just English literature. We also did mother tongue. I'm actually very fluent in my mother tongue, because we'd also read storybooks that were in mother tongue. Yo wakati kulikuwa hata na vitabu za mother tongue storybooks na nini. and they were very nice, interesting stories as a mother tongue. I remember quite many of them, and I guess that's why I'm also so fluent in my mother tongue. Yeah, I can read, and my mother tongue is not really easy to read because of the pronunciation of some words and what. So utasikia watu wengi wakisema mi naweza sikia na naweza ongea but siwezi soma. Reading is it's quite a little bit complicated, but I'm very fluent in it, na si floss. But we used to read with my dad, and yeah, and the story, whether it's mother tongue, Swahili, English literature, we used to do a lot of reading. And I guess that is where my love for reading came in. If I want to feel distracted, if I want to lose myself in something, reading is like, it's like therapy for me. It's just that one thing. If you want to, just like the way you find people are interested in music, the people who are so immersed in movies to lose themselves, reading just comes naturally. So so really grateful, and I just feel it's something I would also challenge parents out there. I know sometimes you can be busy, of course, with work, trying to make a living. Things can quite be hard. You're trying to juggle things, you're trying to create a better life for your kids, you also want to create some time for yourself. You may be stressed by lots of things, but at least create some time for your kids. You may not necessarily read like my dad and I used to do. Perhaps you may engage in some hobbies, you may play together with your kid, you may do some painting, you may do some cooking with them. Yeah, at least do something with them that they will carry with them as memories. At the moment, during that time, it may not really make sense to you, it may not even make sense to them, but you'll create precious memories that will be so precious to them. I know right now perhaps my dad doesn't even remember all that time. Perhaps to him he was just spending just time with his daughter, but in real sense we were creating memories that are so precious. Yeah, time is so precious, and there, as much as you're doing other things, create and spend time, create memories with the people you love, create memories with the people in your life. You may imagine, or rather you may assume that you're just doing something normal. Perhaps you're just taking your kids to school every day, or you're preparing them in the morning, or rather you have a trend of making breakfast for them, you're joining them in the kitchen, you may be going with them to church, or rather just something that you're doing together. It may be something that you don't even see its value right now, but thinking about it, and the reality is that every minute you're creating memories that are very precious. Life is precious. Life is about creating memories. Love the people in your life, appreciate the people in your life. Well, as your kids grow up, okay, this is to parents, is right now, if you have younger kids, you might have the luxury of time with them, but you won't even realize that they'll be grown up soon enough. In some few years, kama sahi wako primary school, they'll go to high school, they'll go to campus, they may even relocate. By the time you realize, right now you may have them at your disposal. Hata wamefika point tu wanakuchosha tu, like they're too much into your space. But there comes a time they're no longer there, your house suddenly feels empty, and you start missing them. You start wishing, perhaps I wish I had spent some more time with them. I wish I had created more memories with them, and you start wishing that you had done things differently. So if you have the time now, if you have your kids with you right now, your parents there with you right now, make an effort of creating memories. Life is beautiful because if you create memories with people, those are just precious memories in your mind, and they are very precious, and there are also lessons that you learn along the way. I guess I'm gonna wrap it up here. I was actually not even prepared to give this story. I just thought that, well, last week was my dad's birthday, and last year I had promised to do 3 stories in honor of that, and I just did one. So today, why don't I do one? But aki ya mwisho I'll do soon. I'll not wait for next year's birthday. Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. This is it for today. You may just take home message to all the parents out there: create memories with your children. To all kids out there, grown-ups out there, create memories, basically, not just with the children, not just with your parents, basically with your family. And you know, of course, family is not just about blood, it's the people in your life. Family is where they say that home is not a place. Home could be a person. Home is where your heart feels just the need to be yourself. Home is where you just feel like you're yourself. You don't need to pretend, you don't need to mask up yourself. Home is where your heart is. So treasure your home, treasure the people in your life, create as many memories as you can while you still can. My name is Purity, and this is the Ms.Matheri show. Thank you for watching.